Just getting ready to start about a 12.3 mile trip. First trip of 2014, overnight in the woods. Really looking forward to it. It's about 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and I'm going to get about 6 miles in today, about 6 miles tomorrow or so, and then back to the car. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to bringing everybody along on this trip. All right, guys, let's get going. This is the second time that I've done this full Morgan Hill long loop. The first time was back in July of 2011. I did it with a friend of mine, and we did it July 3rd and July 4th, and it was about 100 degrees. Here it is the middle of April. It's about 50 degrees. It's absolutely perfect. And as you can see behind me, this entire area has an unbelievable amount of small little streams and creeks that run through it, and some real pretty waterfalls. The day couldn't be any better. It's so funny how much your mood gets picked up being out here. I'm just enjoying myself like you wouldn't believe. So we'll keep on going, and we'll see where the day takes us. Part of this Morgan Hill loop is a part of the North Country Trail that runs from the Dakotas through to the around Crown Point, New York, and I believe it's about 4,500 miles long. So a couple of things on this trip that I brought along that are new is I brought my Spot personal locator beacon, and that's not so much for here in the central New York area. I'm going to be using that more up in the Adirondacks on some longer trips that I've got planned when there is no cell service. But we're coming up here. I want to spin around and hopefully you can see a little bit. We're coming up on Spruce Lake, and it's a real pretty place. It's a popular fishing spot here, and it marks about a little over a 2-mile journey into the trail so far. So this kind of got me thinking about some of the different guys on hammock forums. So maybe Storm Crow there down in Ohio, and I think that TZ Brown and others are up in Michigan. And then between Wisconsin and Minnesota, I think the likes of Hiking Dad and Hillbilly Deluxe and Pizza and Shug and other folks. We'd have a heck of a hike to try to meet in one central location, but it looks like for all of us up here on the northern part of America, we could get together and call the North Country Trail one heck of a through hike at about 4,000 miles. Made the climb up here in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so from Spruce Pond, and I'm up here on a little bit of a flat up on top of the hill. And there's something over here that I want to walk in, and I want to show you guys. I first saw this about 4 years ago on a day hike with my wife and my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter spotted it, and there behind me is what it is. It's kind of a bushcraft teepee of some sort that somebody took the time to put together. And at the time, my daughter was really young, and I was able to tease her and pick on her a little bit that maybe actually this has been around for a long, long time, and Indians actually built it. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at what we've got here. Some garbage and stuff I got to pick up. It's a little bit straighter here on this side. You can see out front that there's a little bit of a fire pit right here in front of the door. We're coming up onto an area that's probably one of my favorite areas here on the whole trail. It's the second highest point in Onondaga County. So Onondaga County is where Syracuse is, Syracuse, New York, and it's the second highest point, I believe. And this area up here is a place where hang gliders have come out, and this is where they'll launch from and sail and soar and whatnot. So as we move forward here in the next little bit, you'll get a chance to check this out. It's real pretty. How are you? This is called Tinker Falls. I'm not sure how well you can hear me because of all the rushing water. But let's take a look at what we got here. It's pretty cool. Pretty unbelievable. This is a real favorite spot of mine. If there were some trees under here, or if there was a way to put some anchors in and hang a hammock, you bet I'd spend the night under this. And by the way, Shug, I think this gets a whoo buddy. How fun is that, huh? How fun is that? All this stuff to do right here in our own backyard. I love it. Absolutely incredible. Well, it's about 4:45 and I've left Tinker Falls, and I'm in the process of climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. First day out on the trail this year, and I don't think my legs are ready for this. Whew. Just keep moving on. Switch back, keep on climbing. Here, let me show you. Climbing and climbing and climbing, climbing. Down there is where I came from. Up there where you can see the break of day, that's where I gotta go. If you need me, I'll be climbing. Guess what? That's right, I'm still climbing. But I got something to show you. I don't know who did this. And if you're listening and you get a hold of me, I'm gonna buy you a steak dinner. You're gonna have steak, potato, vegetables, dessert, wine, water. I don't know what all you want, but if you're listening, I'm gonna get you And this is the reason, guys. Right there behind me, that's a chair. And if you look up on Central New York, cnyhiking.com, you'll see reference to the chair on the Morgan Hill long loop. And this is it. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm enjoying sitting in the chair. I still got a lot to climb, but I'm making it. It's about 5:20. Still moving along here, feeling great. Just turned into a gorgeous afternoon. Heading back down. I climbed up over that little bit of a hill and heading back down to the other side of it now. And plan on, once I get down there, I'm gonna maybe go another half to 3/4, maybe a mile, and then try to find a spot. There's some streams and creeks down there, and that's where I'll pitch up and set up my hammock and spend the night. So it's I don't know, maybe 5.5 miles or so into it right now, and about halfway of that whole 12-mile loop. I'm heading down the trail. I come across a blowdown, which probably isn't all that unusual. You'll see them on the trail quite often. And then as I look to my right, the whole tree came up out of the ground. I don't know as though I've ever seen the root ball of a tree come all the way up out of the ground. You can see there's some damage there with some wind broken trees. I can gladly say that I wasn't out in the woods on that night. It's about 10 to 6. Unbelievable waterfalls. Aren't they just gorgeous? We're real close to camp. The camp's actually just upstream of these waterfalls right here. So I'm gonna keep going, and I can't wait to get some food. I'm getting kind of hungry. All right, I found camp. I made it to Hemlock Glen is the name of this area. It's a Hemlock Glen lean-to. And it's on the North Country Trail still. The water and the waterfalls are right there. There's a privy here, and a lot of great places to hang. So this is what's going to be home tonight.